Hello my friends, so I welcome all of you 91,000 star seeds, wanderers and light workers from all over the world to this session. And in today's session I have channeled the Pleiadians in order to ask about several things which many of you wanted to know. And the first thing that I have asked about is about the Looking Glass event number 6, which is the next event which we need to be aware of, which will happen in the coming days in September, okay? And basically, we were able to stop the 5 events, the 5 previous Looking Glass events. We were able to stop them. And, I feel really thankful for all of you for taking part in the meditations, in application and stuff, and watching the video as well. Because just by watching and being aware, we are able to stop their plans of the negative entities, right? So in today's session, they talk about event number 6, which has a lot to do with Elon Musk, Starlink, the graduation of the Earth planet, and also 3 days of darkness. A lot of these things, they have information about this you will find in this Looking Glass event number 6. And also, in this session, I have asked about, the different types of, spiritual bodies we have or we may activate and how do they work. So they have explained beautifully how does our different types of, spiritual body they operate in a way in this session. And the other thing that they have said in the session about is a very simple technique which we can use to make sure that, right now, is a period wherein there is the graduation window opening. So to make sure that we graduate in this window, there is a beautiful exercise which we can apply. It's super simple, so you listen to the session first. And before the session begins, I want to give a short announcement that my series on UNIFYD TV is starting on September 5th, and it will be up until a few days in September. So it's a 4-part series. If you have not joined, you can join it from I'll leave the link towards the end of the video. And then I have to give a shout out to a friend of mine whose name is Alex, and we also have a collaboration coming up in the future. So the links will be given towards the end of the video. And before the session begins, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for liking the video, as it helps to reach out to more star seeds, wanderers, light workers just like us who need this information. With that being said, here is the session, my friends. Enjoy it.
We are the Pleiadians now, communicating through this instrument, and now we are here. As the planet is now progressing in the next phase of awakening, many of the beings on the planet must recognize the value of the next few moments in your space-time experience in the Earth planet. As the Earth planet is spiraling into a new phase of awakening consciousness, the Council of Planets, along with the Galactic Federation and many other cosmic beings, are perceiving this event to be of a grand nature. However, since each individual has the free will in this time to accept or to reject our thought forms, we must state that our thought forms must be put under scrutiny by the mind complex, thereby only accepting those which resonate. The first query pertains to the Looking Glass event number 6. As we can sense that there is a event which we can sense from the Looking Glass artifact. However, we must also warn the people of your planet that there have been many groups who are using the synonym or tag of the guardians of the Looking Glass, who are not of a positively oriented intention and are primarily using the Looking Glass artifact knowledge for the purpose of confusing humanity. At this time, however, there is a real guardian of the Looking Glass which is also present. There are many duplicate guardians of the Looking Glass groups which are being created at this time to confuse humanity. And the people have the choice which determines either whether the people will fall under the domain of the guardians of the Looking Glass, who are in essence in multiple numbers at this time. There are many groups using the name of the guardians of the Looking Glass, which has created confusion amongst your people. Furthermore, we must now state that the event number 6 of the Looking Glass artifact, as we can sense from our scanning vibrations, is that upon the Earth planet, there is a requirement for the people of your planet to understand that everything at the moment seems to be stagnant in terms of ascension and seems to be quiet, because something massive in the terms of ascension has been planned for you people, which is occurring in the timeline of September 21 to 29th of September. Many call it to be the gateway of the Earth's planetary entry into the fourth density cycle, wherein the Earth's planet has the opportunity of allowing the residents of the human mind, body, and spirit complex, those whose vibrations are of matching vibration to that of fourth density of love and compassion, to secure a place in the upcoming new Earth. This is the second gateway for ascension into the fourth density, which is opening up on the timeline of September 21 and will last until the end of September. Furthermore, these energies are also being amplified by the light codes which will be sent towards the planetary sphere during those periods of time, in order to allow those who shall receive it to find a place in the fourth density consciousness, to become the residents of the new Earth, and be sure that they will graduate into the fourth density consciousness as a signaling mechanism. There shall be an explosion of peace and silence within those who shall find the light codes and receive the ascension codes to assist them towards ascension into the fourth density, new Earth planetary vibration. Furthermore, the entity known as by your people in your language vibratory sound complex as Elon Musk has been seen in the Looking Glass artifact to be soul soft by a Dracos entity, which will eventually use the starlinks as created by the entity known as Elon for the purpose of creating a shield of negatively polarizing energy around the Earth planet, in the hope of preventing the ascension or the second graduation of the Earth planet at this time. This type of energy shields, as we can sense, may also lead to the creation of the 3 days of darkness, as many people on your planet perceive it to be, if the negatively oriented entities are successful in their process. of creating this negatively polarizing shield around the planet. Furthermore, we the Pleiadians must also state that the first wave of graduation occurred on the year of 2012. In this period of the second stage of graduation window opening, each soul can in a way pre-book their vibration space in the new earth by receiving the light codes and also by eventually staying in the vibration of fourth density, which will mean that once they cross over from this current incarnation, they will directly enter into the fourth density new earth timeline. Furthermore, the other query which the entity has placed relates with how can the event be stopped. We request the people of your planet to use their own choices and discernment, and during the period of September 21 to the period of September 29, they can use the period of bodily complex and follow the process of meditation to access the divine energies and connection within the self, which will allow each individual using their own free will to send love and light energies towards the Earth planet, which can then act as a blanket of energy, protecting the Earth planet from such happenings, and a warning may be issued to the entity known as Elon regarding the possibility of a soul swap during its sleep state, as it must be protected as it enters the domain of sleep. We shall now address the second query, which pertains to the different parts of the bodily complex, of the mind, body, and spirit complex specifically. The parts of the spiritual bodily complex, we shall now address that. Each of the 7 energy centers combine together to form different types of combination of bodily complexes, which may be our way of stating that there are number of possibilities of creation of spiritual bodies. For example, if an entity has an overactivated red ray energy center while also having an imbalance in the blue ray or the throat energy center, may create a bodily complex which may be termed as the so-called emotional imbalanced bodily complex. This type of bodily complex is full of anxiety, fear, and anxious about the future. There may be other possibilities such as the overactivated yellow ray energy center, as well as the imbalanced energy center primarily of the indigo ray, which leads to the type of body known as the energy body, which is known as the mental body. This type of mental body is created when the entities cannot stop producing images in their mind during their waking daytime, which leads to several stages of confusion within the self as the overlapping of different timelines is happening. Then there are other bodies such as the astral body, which acts as a bridge between the physical body and the spiritual realm. These astral bodies primarily compose of the combination of exact replica of your energy centers, which can be found at the present bodily complex. However, this occurs in the form of a non-physical bodily complex, which is able to travel in time-space without any hindrance. However, the imbalances in the energy centers are replicated during the astral projection or out-of-body experiences. leading to creation of a similar type of environments in the astral state also. Furthermore, there are other bodies known as the celestial bodies, which is the body that has the connection with the one infinite creator as well as with many of the entities' higher self. This body is primarily activated when there is a purified nature of the heart energy center, leading to a balancing of the upper chakras of the blue ray, the indigo ray, and the violet ray energy center. These four energy centers, once balanced and activated, lead to the creation of the celestial body, which is able to vibrate at a frequency much higher and can be a type of perception which may be generated, which can be sensed by your people as the creation of a rainbow around the physical bodily complex, which gives the emanation of a type of rainbow body. This can only be achieved when all of the lower energy centers are also balanced. Therefore, this is an example of the rainbow body as known by many of your people. Furthermore, there is the understanding required for your people that the different types of energy centers, specifically the lower energy centers, are those which primarily compose of the emotional as well as the intuitive body, and the upper energy centers primarily form the part of the creative or the causal body, and there may be infinite combinations of different types of energy centers imbalance, leading to culmination of creating different bodily complexes upon the physical beingness of the self. Furthermore, we shall now address the final query, which relates with what spiritual practice can be done at this time to make sure that people of the Earth planet are eligible for accessing the fourth density graduation window, which is now opening. The best practice which we the Pleiadians can suggest is a practice which allows one of the entities upon your planetary sphere and many entities upon your planetary sphere as well as upon the various galactic systems to attain enlightenment of the self. The process is to firstly understand the separation of the self and the formulation of the working of the mind into three categories. One that is determined by sound, since the sound is the force which leads to the creation of language and words in the throat ray energy center, and only the understanding that the creation of sound leads to the creation of language and words. Without sound, there will be no language, no words created in the mind. This understanding must be accompanied with the other understanding that the universe was created only by the forces of light and love. The force of sound, which many on your planet perceive to be vibrations, was added primarily only in third density planets as a distortion, such like the Earth planet, for the creation and understanding of the ego self, which is created because of the sound. Since the sound is the creation of the ego self, many entities, in order to attain ascension, can follow the simple procedure of focusing their attention on the blue ray or the throat energy center and not allowing sounds to appear inside the blue ray energy center. Since all of your inner voices and thought forms are sounds appearing in your throat ray energy center, each sound vibration distorts the consciousness to reflect a certain nature, and not the true nature is reflected. As each sound creates a different type of vibration within your consciousness stream, each one of you must remember to let go of the sound and allow the peace of the one infinite creator to engulf you within the self. This practice of not allowing any sound to appear within the self. However, the entities must be extra careful that any type of sound will lead to an imbalance in the energy center in your mind complex if you become aware. The voices on the outside are allowed, however, the voices which you hear in your mind complex must be let go of, and no sounds must be allowed within your inner throat energy center. This will then allow you to attain ascension rapidly. However, we must also clear that this does not mean that the entities on the Earth planet should stop communicating. We are only suggesting that your inner sounds must be let go of. You can still use sounds and vibrations to communicate with others on the outside, but the most important is to let go of your inner sounds and voices which are the hindrance to ascension. And we the Pleiadians now leave you. Bye.
So my friends, basically in the session, what I learned is that I'll give you a basic explanation of what I learned. What I have learned is that, look, the event number 6 is actually happening from September 21 to 29. What they are saying is that there is a window of opportunity for us to graduate into the 4th density. And what they're saying is basically, it sounds like, we can actually reserve our position in the new earth at this time. Okay, so to make sure that you graduate into the 4th density, to make sure that this is your last incarnation, right? You can just you can focus on that point of ascension, and then make sure that you reserve a seat. It's like a booking a plane ticket, so that you reserve a seat in the new earth. Okay, but this is for new earth. So what they have said is, this is a window of opportunity. This is the second wave of graduation, which is going to happen on September 21 to September 29. So what I understood basically is that people whose vibration are already high, people who are already in the 4th density vibration, they will be eligible for this energy which is coming into our planet, and they will be able to enter into this new earth vibration, and also they will have a reservation in the new earth, right? So that's what I basically understood. And the other thing that I understood from the session is what they're saying is, look, there are negative entities, such as the Dracos, the Reptilians, the Orions, Luciferian beings. We already know them. What they're trying to do is they're trying to use Elon Musk. Now, I think Elon Musk is not aware that they're trying to do a soul swap with Elon Musk. So during the sleep state, Elon Musk will be swapped with another Dracos entity, they said, and probably what Elon Musk will do is, he will try to give the control of Starlink. He will try to give the control of Starlink to the negative entities. And the Starlink is like the satellite system which is covering our earth, right? So it can be used to create a shield of negative energy to stop the incoming positive vibration. And the other thing that I learned from this session is basically about the different types of bodies we have. Okay, the basic thing that I learned is that we have got different types of bodies. I don't actually remember the name. They were saying like that our energy centers, okay, our chakras, whenever they are balanced or imbalanced, they create different types of bodies. And it is based on the balance and the imbalance of our chakras, the creation of the different types of bodies, right? So basically, I just learned only a few things, okay? I mean, I just remember a few things. For detail, you need to listen to the session again. Basically, what I learned is that there are infinite amounts of bodies which we can have, okay? Like there is an astral body. which we can use for astral projection. There are emotional body, which is from our lower energy centers. There are also other bodies which are created based upon the different energy centers which are balanced or imbalanced. Okay, so it depends on that. And the other thing that they have talked about in the session is primarily about how we can make sure that we have a slot in this ascension period, right? So that we have a position in the new earth. So what they have said is basically what we can do is we can use a simple exercise, which is very simple. What they've said is we can focus on sound. We can focus on our throat energy center and make sure that there is no sound appearing inside our throat ray energy center. Because usually, if you just remember this, usually, whenever we are thinking or we are talking with our own self inside our mind, there is a sound. And what they have said is, sound creates this distortion in vibration in our consciousness. And this is the reason why I believe, many of us are psychologically suffering. And this is the end of psychological suffering if we are able to stop the sound from coming inside our mind. So that's what I understood in the session, and I hope you also learned many things in particular. Before I leave you, I just want to say thank you to all of you for sending me requests for your current life purpose, for your past life and your soul name to my email, as I'm helping you out whenever I get free time. And the other thing is, I want to say big thank you to all of you for also helping me and supporting me on my Patreon, because we do meditations on our Patreon, and I believe for the meditations on 21 and 29 we shall do on our Patreon, 100% sure. And then the other thing is, I want to say big thank you to all of you for joining me on the UNIFYD series. The link is on the description, you can join. And also thank you to all of you for following Alex on her YouTube channel. So we have a collaboration coming up. So with that being said, I hope you'll enjoy this next video. Thank you, my friends.